Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry, my throat got scratchy for a second. I'm returning to you tonight for this next album review for Sabrina Carpenter, short and sweet, that I got a chance to check out for myself for the 12 tracks that I listened to for this record overall. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 36-minute record, which is not a very long record. Keep in mind, it's under 40 minutes. And I'll let you know my thoughts on all the songs I listened to. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with the Taste song, which is going to be having a music video tonight. To be honest, I wasn't a fan of this one. This was sadly a letdown. It's just the way she's singing it from time to time. It sounds too bubblegum pop, and I'm just not really connecting with this kind of sound that she's going for with this. It sounds Motown bubblegum pop stuff, and it's just like, okay, this is kind of not really. It's like a galley girl kind of song, and it's like, it's too cringy. 2.75 out of 5. Please, Please, Please was the second single for this record, and off the bat, not a good single. Another disappointment of a track. So this is another 2.75 out of 5. I wasn't connecting with this song, and I'll give her credit where it's due. She was a little entertaining in the SNL skit with Jake Gyllenhaal with the Scooby-Doo thing. That was a little entertaining, but her music-wise stuff, I don't know, it's just hit or miss. Mostly misses. But still, 2.75 out of 5 for this song. I just wasn't connecting with this track too much. It was a letdown for Please, Please, Please. Good Graces is a disappointing track too. I'm not connecting with this one either. It's just the way it's sounding overall. And production and mixing, it's not great, but it's not terrible. But it's just a letdown of a song. 2.75 out of 5. Sharpest Tool was kind of meh. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it wasn't terrible. I'm kind of in the middle with this track. There were some things, positives and negatives about this track that I think outweighed it and made it kind of a play it safe kind of track. So the beginning was a little cringy, but it does progress and get a little bit better in a way. So 3 out of 5. Coincidence is a meh track too. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Didn't hate this track for how it sounded. It depends on the song structure and its execution overall. So 3 out of 5. Bed Chem was kind of too cringy in a way. I don't know how I was feeling about this song. It's just the way Sabrina Carpenter was singing it. There were some weak moments to this track. So 2.75 out of 5 for this one. It's another letdown of a track. Espresso was meh. Not one of my favorite songs, and not up my alley, basically. It did like some moments in the track, but it's just the way it's executing. It's relying on the chorus too much. But the verses were kind of weak. So this is a 3 out of 5. Dumb and Poetic was a meh track too. I'm kind of in the middle with this one as well. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. It's just the way with how it's sounding. It's playing it safe a little for 2 minutes and some seconds. I think 2 minutes and 13 seconds, if I remember correctly. Next is Slim Pickens. This is a disappointing one. She's trying to sound country with pop and all that. It's not working. The way she's singing, it's not working with this track. So 2.75 out of 5 for this one. What a letdown. Juno is a meh track. I think this one wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It's kind of, it's a mixed bag. It's just the way she's singing this track, it just doesn't really work. in some areas, but there are some moments where I think the positives outweigh the negative in a way. But for a score for this one, I think the chorus was not terrible, but it's just the way she was singing it. There were some moments where there were some cringy liners with this track, so 3 out of 5. Then we get to Lie to Girls. This one's okay with how it sounds, so I'd give it a 3.25 out of 5. Lyrically, it's not terribly written, but it's not great. But overall, the way she's singing it, there are some moments where I have to have my critiques, so 3.25 out of 5. Don't Smile is actually not a bad song. I'd give this a 4.25 out of 5. It's above decent. This one wasn't that terrible for the closing track. So, at least there were some positives towards the end of the record that made it listenable. But there were quite a bit of cringy tracks through this record that is going to downgrade the record quite exponentially. So 4.25 out of 5 for Don't Smile. At least the last track was listenable. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet, was a disappointing record. I wasn't really impressed with this record. I was hoping this wouldn't have sucked, because I was trying to see if I was going to get used to the songs. But in retrospect, they're not very entertaining tracks. And sorry about the background noise. And pretty much with how she's singing the tracks, the cringy moments come in, and it makes it unbearable of a listen. It's not terrible. It's going to be on the worst albums this year of 2024. But this, I wouldn't call it the worst stepping stone. I would call it maybe trying to not put out any bubblegum pop stuff. Technically, she's not up my alley, music-wise. But overall, if I were to give this a score, I'd give Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet, a 5.5 out of 10. It's a letdown. I wasn't really that impressed with this track, and it just... or this album, I should say. I wasn't impressed with this record, but overall, it's a letdown. So, 5.5 out of 10 for Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet, for her new album. Thank you for watching this album review tonight.